So, you're ready to read some Discworld novels and you're thinking to yourself, why not start at the beginning? Today I'll tell you why you should save the earliest Discworld novels until you've read some of the later ones. I'm Logan, this is the Intensely Casual Guide to Discworld. Today I'm going to introduce you to the early Discworld, or as I like to think of them, Proto-Discworld books of Terry Pratchett. Please be aware that you may encounter some very light spoilers regarding these books while watching this video. The Discworld novels were published by Terry Pratchett over a period of about 30 years from 1983 until just after his death in 2015. It's very important to realize that even though the first book, The Color of Magic, ends on a cliffhanger, Pratchett didn't have a clear vision at the beginning of the series of where he was going with these books, and he didn't necessarily expect to write such a long series. What this means is that each of these Proto-Discworld books takes place in a sort of rough draft version of the Discworld, and aren't necessarily representative of the stories that come later. The period I'm calling Proto-Discworld consists of 5 books: The Color of Magic, The Light Fantastic, Equal Rights, Mort, and Sorcery. A number of ideas, and frankly characters introduced in these books, are either retconned away or forgotten. This is probably why Pratchett himself recommended not starting with the first book. These books are much more parodies of fantasy and fantasy ideas than they are parodies of real life and people using fantasy. They are also very focused on the wizards as characters, which isn't a problem as such, but the wizards of Discworld are almost entirely transformed by the events of sorcery, so that the wizards in the books of the Proto-Discworld PreSorcery Era are entirely different from the wizards that you will encounter in post-sorcery Discworld books. So, why read these books? First, read them if you're a fan of Rincewind. Rincewind might be the single most recognizable and liked Discworld character, and about half of the books that feature Rincewind are from this period. Another reason is that rough draft Discworld or not, representative or not, most of these books are pretty good. Mort is the first Discworld novel I ever read, and I feel like it still holds up. Equal Rights is also very popular. That would be the 3rd book in the series. Just don't necessarily expect the events of these novels or the characters of these novels to be referred to much in later novels. For instance, Equal Rights stars Granny Weatherwax, but isn't the first witches novel because we won't be introduced to the other witches until later. Likewise, some major characters from Equal Rights simply go unmentioned almost to the end of Pratchett's life. Finally, the last of the books in this group, Sorcery, really sets the table for what's to come. It's a strong choice as a starting point, but I still recommend Guards instead, because I feel Sorcery really is more of an end to one period than the beginning of another. Once you've read some of the later Discworld books, come back and read these earlier works so that you can appreciate the journey Pratchett went on in inventing Discworld and enjoy reading some solid stories, knowing that many of the ideas you'll be exploring here in the Proto-Discworld books won't make it into the later novels.
Thanks for watching Intensely Casual. If you liked this, please press the like button or leave a comment below, and if you'd like to see more, please press subscribe.
Won't make it into the later novels. That's what the teleprompter says.